Yo guys, welcome to our video. The year after my graduation as a nursing student, normally in Africa, especially in Kenya, when you are done with your BSN, especially at degree level. Yo guys, welcome to our video. A year after all the final year as a nursing student, you always anticipate the best. I don't know how about you, like another career. I know we have people watching this video or in another fields, especially that last year, especially for me, like in the fourth year, I was really thinking on how to become a great nurse at some point, and also how best I can become that best nurse. So after graduating from my school, normally our graduation was in that in my university was between there in July to August there, late July, August there. So after graduation, I had one of my friends who took me to some mission hospital near his home as we were waiting to be posted for internship. Normally, here in Africa, after graduating, like if you are a BSN nurse, you are posted in a level, at that time, a level 5 hospital, level 6 hospital for 1 year, and you are posted by the Ministry of Health, where you are given some stipend. So actually every month we were being paid something for that. So immediately after my graduation, I joined my friend who invited me to a nearby mission hospital, which was being run by the Catholic sisters, so that as we were waiting to be posted for our internship. So my friend Zabu, actually we went with him at that particular mission hospital. That guy was my good friend and was my classmate. I think that's one of the person who really also helped me grow in my career as a person, because there's a person I knew very well. So Zabu, I know you will watch this guy. I appreciate you. So from that month, I joined that hospital in a month, like it was a September, I can remember. So uh, the payment at that time and the agreement with the hospital was very minimal, but we were given a house, and that other house had some had just a bed, but they were providing us with water, and also now you can sort yourselves on things, food, and it had some. I remember it had some vegetable garden outside, so I could get some vegetables out there. We cook. So for me, I was posted in a medical ward, and my colleague was in the surgical part of the ward. So here we are. That was our first posting for nursing, away from school, away from the pressure of the school. So it was very exciting to become one of the as one of the nurses who can do the thing on your own. We had very high ambitions. For myself, I had very high ambitions for that, to practice well and also become a great nurse, as I always had that passion for it. So in that place, we worked very well with the other nurses. They allocated us duties, and with me, with my friend and I, most of the time we were doing the nights, because most of the senior nurses in that institution could not do the night duties because of their advanced age. And most of those nurses who were working in that area, they were retired nurses who had worked maybe for the government. Now they are retired and now they want to give service. So they were actually people who were advanced in age. so that they can get something from there and also get to practice and also mentor other nurses in that institution. So most of the time they could not carry on the night shift duties. So myself, I did a lot of those night duties, because that one, if I did like those nights, I could get my night off to go home and also see my parents, because that place where I was working was not very far from my local home. So we worked from that September up to around December. Uh, so from December, we were following up on how we can get our internship. But we also extended our working up to around April of the following year. That's when we were posted for internship. For me, I got my internship near my home, and also my friend also got somewhere else far from, but near his home, because we do not come from the same place. So we got posted and we were very happy about it. And now here we are. We went to our 1 year internship. So in this internship, like I've said, we were given some stipend, where now you get your first time salary. You are being paid, because we had first you have to go to Nairobi for the Minister of Health, get the letter from there. It is actually written what you are going to be paid and where you are being posted. It was really exciting to get that you are getting paid, and we could really see how fruitful it is to be that graduate who gets that money. So the internship started very well. And normally when you do your internship in Kenya, especially with MOH posting, you're supposed to rotate in the medical wards, surgical wards, maternity, where you do a certain number of deliveries. In surgical ward also, you need to do special management of those wounds, and also manage various surgical patients with the other team, the other medical team, and also get to go to theater and also practice there. And in my posting area also, I got an opportunity to get into ICU. Earlier that hospital did not have an ICU, but as time went by, we had the hospital being opened a new ICU, because it had equipment but it had no staff. So we had people from Kenyatta National Hospital, that is the main hospital during our time, which had a lot of expertise, especially on the matters ICU, because that was the only hospital which was admitting the ICU patients, especially in the public sector. So the special people, the doctors and the nurses, ICU nurses, came to our place to train us on how to manage patients in ICU. It was a great experience, because we were the first people to use especially the first equipment in that ICU, admit the first patients there, and also manage them with the expertise from the Kenyatta National Hospital, which was really a great experience at that particular time. So we enjoyed that experience. And as time moved by, the year, we could not even we could not tell how the year went on, and we found that the year was over and our internship was over. We had our completion letters from the institution, and we took them to the nursing council for licensing, and actually that one happened. But our year of experience and a year of greatness was during our internship. We really enjoyed working, and we enjoyed the money, because we were being paid. Sometimes we were paid the stipend. It was even more than those very senior nurses there who were there. I will talk about what the challenges which we had also with the senior nurses there, who could not feel well that we are being paid a lot of money, and we were just very young to them, considering the experience and also the exposure, and they are working for long. So being used to money at that particular time, and when you finish your internship, like it happens here in Kenya, you are not put on any payroll now. You are out of the payroll of the Minister of Health, and now you have to tarmac yourself out and get a place where you can work. So our money or our payment was cut at that point after the 1 year of internship. So we have to, now people went their different ways. My colleagues went to different ways, especially those who schooled with from different universities who you met and became a family where I was doing my internship. So everyone really went their own way to look for ways on how they can get to work and also earn a living, at least as a matter of practice and other things. So for me, after that, I moved from where I was staying and I went home as I looked for a direction and also a way to find somewhere where I could work and also do something fruitful for myself. So as it was, we were in communication with my friends who could tell me if there's something somewhere. And actually, after internship, I stayed at home for around 1 year also, in addition, without payment. And that life was very interesting because I could not get something to like I was used to. There was that shift and change of things. At that point, I was thinking on how to apply and go to even America to go and work there. I was working my ways out, but considering my economic status at that point, I could not manage to get secure myself and also get to go to the America and work there. But as I was looking, I was always online and sending my CV everywhere. Fortunately, after 1 year, there's an hospital in our capital city here in Kenya called Nairobi. In one of the private hospitals, I was called to go for an interview. That was very exciting because that was the first call I got from an HR or human resource manager from that hospital who called me. You know how the kind of language they use, which is very official. Are you your name? What is your name? Is your name Vincent? Can you come? Can you make to Nairobi? I'm calling you from this hospital. I want you to come for an interview. So at that point, like another new person in the field of employment, I prepared myself for interview. So early in college, I had done some courses regarding on how you can carry on an interview, what you're supposed to do during the interview, and everything, especially on the communication skills which I was trained to. And also I consulted with other people on how you should behave during an interview, what should be done. So I felt I was prepared. So at that point, I did not even have transport to go to Nairobi, but I requested my parents to help me, and actually they helped me. So I got myself a way of getting to Nairobi. So they told me where to go. I went which vehicle to take. I was in contact with the human resource who was very she was a very resourceful person to me, because that lady really guided me, because I was not even the location of the place, I was not very much aware where it was, but she really guided me. And also I got to Nairobi and also took another bus to the place where she told me where the hospital is. And actually I got there in time because she was very conscious with the time. I met the manager of the hospital with her, and also with the nurse in charge. They carried on the interview, and they told me to wait for their feedback. So after like 3 days, when I returned to my home, which is many kilometers from Nairobi, I got a call and I was told I've been selected to go and work in that particular hospital. So I was very excited, I was very happy. This was actually my second time to stay in Nairobi. I will give you the other part of it, to going in Nairobi as a nursing student, to go and get and do my attachment in Nairobi, where we were doing the psychiatric experience, but that's a story for another day. I'll give it. It's very interesting also how I got into Nairobi. That was my first time when I was doing my psychiatric course, and it is a very great experience as a nursing student, and what really happened at that time. So this time, this is my second time in Nairobi, but in a different location. So I was told I'll work. That hospital had branches in various areas in Nairobi, but I was told to work in a certain place in one of the areas in Nairobi. Actually, a different county. We call now in Kenya we have a counties there in Kenya. So the hospital had hospitals in different counties, but I was told to work in different kind of account there. I was told that would be my location where I did my interview. Actually, that's where I was supposed to go and work. So when I told my relatives I'm going to Nairobi and I don't know how to get even a place to stay, God worked in a way that I got someone who connected me where I could get a place near that hospital, and actually I got a place, a simple room, a simple house where I could start the life. So I got to Nairobi. My parents assisted me to get the first range actually, so that I get to pay and also got settled, and also managed to maneuver things out as I was working there. So I got to my first appointment of working there, and in that hospital when I went there I met the human resource who gave me to the nursing in charge. The nursing in charge allocated me in the inpatients. Actually, that hospital had inpatient, which had maternity. The inpatient had surgical ward. The inpatient had medical ward. And when I talk about the medical surgical, uh, it had also pediatrics for the kids wards. So when you were in inpatient, you could manage the surgical patients, medical patients, maternity patients, and also you could manage also the gynae patients. All of them, they were counted as inpatients. Actually, the workload there, from my previous internship experience and also where we used to do our attachment, there was not a lot of work, but there was so there were a lot of people. It was started on day shift from morning up to evening, and there were a lot of nurses there, so the work was not very difficult at that point. So in the second week, actually, the most of the nurses from that place resigned, and had resigned, and others had resigned earlier. Me, I did not get to know what had happened to them, but with time I came to understand why. So, and that told me why I was really chosen very fast to come and work there through how after my interview. So after like 3 days of orientation, I was put on the duty roster, and now I could be alone managing the inpatients. That is the pediatrics, the medical, surgical, maternity, and during these nights, especially I was put on the night shift. If you are in the inpatient, you are the one who is supposed to go to take a patient in case of a cesarean section at night. You are supposed to go with the doctor. Actually, we could not have a gynecologist come and do the surgery. It's a medical officer who was there to come and do the cesarean section most of the time. But outside there, people knew that he was a consultant, but not a consultant. He was a medical officer who could come and do those such. Though here in Kenya, it's a common practice where medical officers can perform such kind of cases. So actually, after 1 week, after that, I adjusted myself. I could be one person in the night shift, and I used to have we used to have what they used to call nursing service manager. Actually, this was the in charge of all the nurses in all the departments, and that lady, I can tell you, she was a hell of a person. Uh, in the morning she could come very early as 7 a.m. in the morning, even at 6:45. She could find you writing maybe the night report. She could expect you to write a report on the computer and also send through the email. At the same time, you make a list of all the patients in the inpatient so that you can give to her for give her in the office as part of the report, and at the same time give the report to the day shift nurses who are coming to the shift. So you know, that work was not very easy. So I worked there for around with the same kind of pressure for 3 months. So I could do my thing. I try my best to give the best report as I can, because at some point you can come to the shift at around 5 p.m. in the evening and leave even at 12 midday the following day, because you're trying to hand over. You're trying to sort out issues from the nursing service manager, and even when you go to rest, you could be called from home. What has happened to patient ABCD? What is this? And she could even call you over the phone when if she found something wrong has happened, or if she thinks that something wrong has happened. And the worst of all is that when she came in after you have handed over, during handover she could be there, and she could expect you to take you to every patient. She could see every patient, and if any patient complains that they had a problem, maybe they had a challenge, maybe somewhere, all that blame will be on you. So she could scold you and also become so inhuman. She could not see how hard you had worked for the same. So I came to realize that that lady was a hell of a nurse for most of the nurses. That's why they most of the time they left the profession and also went somewhere. Some went home, and also some left to do a thing. And this lady, I came to realize not that she was very perfect. She did not even understand how the nursing, most of the nursing procedures and also the protocols of the hospital. But she took advantage that I was told she was a girlfriend to one of the senior people in the hospital. So she could malign people and also step on others because of taking advantage that she's a girlfriend to one of the senior people in that hospital. I told you the hospital had very many branches, so she stumbled on many, even the other hospital managers of other branches, and took advantage of that because she was a girlfriend to one of the senior people in that hospital. So for us, especially men, maybe I will give us a specific video on what are the challenges of the male nurses face in this profession. So as a man, you know, it was not very easy for many men there, and we were the minority there. So she really stepped on us, and men are the one who also worked very hard to get satisfy what the patient wanted and also meet what the hospital expectations are. So after my night shift, one time I took after handing over, I left the hospital at around 11 a.m. and I'd come to the hospital at around 5 p.m. the previous day. So 11, that was like a trend in that hospital, especially when that nursing service manager was there. She could really nag you and also irritate you, but at some point you could just be patient, because that's one of the virtues as a nurse you should have. She really was really stepping on us in a very strong way, but not in a very good way. She was not there to correct and also make you grow professionally, but she was there to scorn you and scold you and show you how bossy and how powerful she is, to the advantage of you. And also, actually, she was a hell of a person. She could even scold you in front of the patients, and also uh, that lady was really bad news for many nurses. I think some of the nurses will have a look at the video and also give a feedback, and also you can also relate to this kind of a story. But for us, it was not an easy thing. It was a very bad thing. So one day when I left at 11 a.m., I went home to my house. When I just reached the house, sometimes you could not even have strength to go and even get something to eat, because that time I was staying alone. So I went to the house, and I wanted to take a nap even for some hours so that I can go back to the shift that time. So at that particular point, I got a call from the hospital that I was needed in the office, and the one who was calling me was actually that nursing service manager. So in a hurry, I left my luggage there, which I had from the hospital, and went back to the hospital. It wasn't very far from where I was staying. When I went to that office, the lady was shouting at me. Why did the mother to the kid complain that you did not attend to her at night? Where were you between this time and this time? You were not with the patients. What was happening to you? I told her at that particular time I went to theater with the patient who was being done cesarean section, and when I came back, I did what the patient was supposed to be done. The problem is there was some lateness to do what's supposed to be done for the patient, but the patient, I did what I was supposed to do, and also I did it later. The lady was very hard on me. She was scolding me there. Um so after that, I was given a show cause letter from her to show why I should not be disciplined, and also taken to even my contract gets to end. And I read that. I said, okay. So I wrote like another show cause letter. I gave my part of the story, but the lady was very. She told me categorically before even reading the letter. She told me, you cannot work in this hospital. I've decided to suspend you, and you will not be paid even the money for this month, because it was almost the end month. So me, I went home. I went to the house. I kept quiet. I slept. That day I did not go even for the night shift. So after the following day, I waited for any call. Nobody was calling me. I waited for 2 days. Nobody was giving me any feedback, even regarding my payment. So I called the main human resource and asked about and explained myself on the incidents which had happened, and asked her if she was aware. She told me she was aware through the nursing service manager, and the lady really exaggerated things there, and so she scheduled for like she called me to her office, that is now the main branch for that hospital, to go and explain myself on what really conspired. So when I went there, I found out with other resource people from the other branches, and I explained myself. But she told me, the nursing service manager had already told her, and that she was not ready for me to work in the hospital. So she told me to go home and wait for her call. I went home, waited for a week, no call was coming, and my payment has not been done. You know when you stay in a city away from home, even if you stay at home, this is the money you've worked for. Nobody's paying you. Other people have been paid. You want to clear your bills and also work on some things, but nobody's trying to help you do that. So what I did, I went to that time I went to the CEO of the hospital, and I told him I'm going to sue the hospital because they have not paid me my dues, and I was not legally terminated from my contract. and I don't have any. I was not explained why I should be away from work, and especially without payment, without prior arrangements. That guy, the CEO, was very understanding. Actually, he reversed everything, and I was paid my dues. I was reinstated to work at a senior position where I worked till I resigned. At the same time, when I resigned, I resigned through the CEO, and I gave him the letter. The guy was he was not happy why I left, because after that incident and also after that interaction with him, he appointed me to be the person now running the night shift in the hospital. I was they used to call that at that time, they used to call it a night soup. So I used to be the night soup who used to, I never used to now to report directly to the nursing service manager. I reported to directly to the CEO, who was now more senior than anybody else, and that CEO was now in charge of all the branches of that hospital. So this is the guy I worked with, and most of my interactions were with the senior managers and also with the senior people in that institution. So that guy really mentored me on leadership skills, and he really taught me on how to take responsibility of everything. I remember him telling me, Vincent, when you are the night soup, you represent the hospital, and that is me. Make sure you always decide things which can benefit the patient. He told me it is good always to decide something rather than waiting for me to decide for yourself. Decide even if it is a wrong thing, but I want you to always make sure that you decided something. Especially when you want to serve he really valued the clients. He wanted the best for the clients, and that is how he taught us the client is a very important component, especially in the healthcare. So that guy really challenged me, and that guy never used even to sleep even a bit. So at night, if you call him with an issue, he used to be awake, and also he really worked for that hospital with 365 days, 365 and a half days in a year. The guy was he had the hospital in his fingertips. He knew everything which was happening, and we could brief him. And also, what I liked about him, he really respected everyone, and also he respected our opinion. The nursing service manager who mistreated me and also was very petty and was very stupid actually, uh, with his big booty here there. That lady, actually, we don't wish people bad, but she was sacked at some point because these things pass. You were a girlfriend of a senior person somewhere, and a new person has come and become replaced you as the new girlfriend. Now you can't, and you want to question that. She was sent away. I don't know the reason why she was sent away. She disappeared from the system now for good. I don't know where she went actually. But uh, what I learned from there, sometimes nurses can be their own enemies, especially from that kind of thing. That lady really mistreated nurses like nobody's business, because she took advantage that she's now I don't know if the most beautiful. She was being paid a lot of money because of the advantage of being the girlfriend of someone. She drove a big car, so he thought that she can step on everyone. But things happen, and the karma is real. So those were the turn of events. So in this profession of nursing, sometimes you may get that somebody may get to mistreat you, especially taking advantage of their position and also maybe age and experience, and also connection. But we have what you call professional ethics. Let us embrace it and also do your part. You never know where God can always place you. So God can bless you the summer and also bless you with a lot of things. That is the small part of the experience. I will share more on this nursing experience with such kind of stories. Kindly, if you have not subscribed, let me know. And if you like such kind of stories, you can always let me know through my DM, so that we get to post you and get you entertained through this kind of great videos. And if there's something you want to share, you can always give a comment. You can DM me, so that we get to share the best on what we can. This channel is for you. Future Talks is for you, and we want to make you entertained and also informed the best way possible. So let us be human, and also let us treat each other with equality and equality. Thank you guys. Welcome to our next video. Thank you very much.